Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still ahead on Nile TV International, our today's edition of the Breakfast Show. And now we're going to discuss more about the inauguration of the first ever international conference on the international artificial intelligence and communication technology being here held in Egypt for the first time under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and with the presence of His Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, and how this is supposed to accelerate our steps forward for the for the digitalization path which we are trying to get in. Well, to discuss more about this, we are most delighted to be joined here over in the studio with our prominent guest, Dr. Wael Badawy, a professor of artificial intelligence. Dr. Wael, good pleasure having you with us.
Yes,
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning.
Well, holding the first international conference on artificial intelligence and communication technologies in Egypt. First of all, in such a crucial time where AI or artificial intelligence is really dominating everything in all fields and landscapes everywhere.
Holding this conference here in Egypt, it demonstrates that we are the right venue for these applications, the right venue for companies to demonstrate. As you may know, the conference itself, it has a closed presentation track, it has an open presentation track, it has an expo. So we are the right forum or the right location for a forum to discuss what's going on between the industry, the research, the application. It was very amazing to the title of it, AI Everything, because as you may know, AI is how you see, how the computer can see, how the computer can learn and operate, how the computer can listen, and how the computer can understand natural language, which basically all these capabilities, you can use it to do almost everything. However, we know from technicality that there will be some prominent application where we have acceptable performance against the others. So it's a very, I believe right now in the last 2 years, it's very logical to have such big events in Egypt.
Yep. Well, Egypt had really been taking serious steps forward to enhance the digital infrastructure by also establishing many digital platforms, and the what we call it the platform of Egypt couple of years ago. How far we are in such field, first of all, and the cybersecurity as well?
Okay, Egypt established Vision Egypt 2030 in 2014, and it's amazing that we have been taking steps, then leapfrogs within the same framework. So this was an organized plan. It was not just haphazard, and we have been seeing the development. If we talk about the infrastructure, we have been watching the expansion of the bandwidth in the internet. Then we have the biggest announcement of the 5G. Then last week we have this licensing of the new bandwidths, and this will enable more data to be exchanged. And then at certain point we have been talking about making the phones over the internet, not making phone calls over the communication tower, so we can expand the towers in areas where the signal of the tower cannot reach. So this is the area of communication. Similarly, in the area of data centers, we have been established the government data center. When we come to the new capital and the new development in Egypt, we have now using a different types of internet, where you have the internet for the operation and the internet for the outside. And there is a bubble in between them, so you can have a protection. So there is no intruder will come from the World Wide Web getting into the internet, which operate the signals, the irrigation, all the infrastructure, the air conditions. So we have been taking steps according to a framework. And it's amazing that for 14 years, or in 2014, that somebody will put the vision. The vision was written in a broadband, is not very specific. That's why with the new development. So I believe we are leader in the Middle East and the MENA area, because we did not see so many similar announcements by other nations. and this is why we are close by. The only things we have right now is, and even on the power sources, we are
one of the leaders in the Middle East, because we got, honest speaking and frankly speaking, we got the Emirates or the United Arab Emirates. They are really buying the know-how, the real know-how in the artificial intelligence, and now they are operating everything from A to Z through the AI applications.
You are absolutely correct. However, on 108 million Egyptian in Egypt, plus 10-20 million visitors, we are 120 million at least. So when you talk about operating 120 million population, it's different than 4 or 5 million in Emirates. Emirates has the resources, has the money, and because they are smaller...
And we have genius really in such field, also honestly speaking, here in Egypt and abroad.
Yeah, so, but however, these countries are small enough, so the impact will show significantly. Yep. And it's very interesting.
Will be clear.
Or be more visible. And it's very amazing that our President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, God bless him, he was in Emirates last week and he visited an AI facilities or AI demonstrations.
A couple of days ago.
And this is why we are not so concerned about them, because they are our allies and they support us. We have so many interaction with Emirates facilities, Saudis as well, and they try to pour. And we learn from their experience, because we have to be effectively using our resources. So we cannot be front runner. And this is something we have to discuss one time around technology deployment. You want to be the front runner, they call it Jenny Bag in English, or in foreign countries, you know. We are not the front runner. We are the second or third. So this will save and make more effective use of our resources, because we transfer to Egypt a successful experience. We don't just transfer technology which has high risk. That's why I say, like, we are in Africa, we are one of the top 3. In Arab countries, we are in the top 3, we are in the top 5. In MENA area, we are within the top 5, the top 10. How many countries we have? 191, 193? Based on however number you use from the United Nations, we have 190 plus. So if you are one of the top 10, or even the top 20 in 190.
So it's a great,
it's a great development.
Great for the time being, of course. We're endeavoring, we are doing our best even too.
We are doing our best, and we saw with the GEM, with the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, we saw the drone demonstration. This is an amazing AI business have been developed in China for about 2-3 years. They call it the first kilometer business, where you do this demonstration. We saw in the GEM most recent technologies about virtual reality. We saw the Tutankhamun simulation, full simulation of it. So we get technologies robust enough to be deployed so we can enjoy and reduce the risk of trying out or spending on technologies.
Yep. Well, of course, it's comfortable just to feel secure that we are on the right track, even if we are supposed to be in the middle or even in the very beginning. Well, such an international conference is supposed to bring together all the public institutions, researchers, private sector leaders, and all the innovators, to bring all them together for dialogue and for the to enhance and to improve the what we can say, the knowledge-based industry. How do you find this?
We find this forum is huge interaction, and we have to understand also that the international dynamics of AI businesses, that there are so many claims there is no revenues, and the companies did not see real revenues. They invest in the technology, but they cannot collect the revenues. In the same time, last week we had the case of Google paying some 130 million because they breach the data on their user phones. So among this risk of using it, among businesses,
they're reaching all of us. I mean, through our phones or our iPhones.
And they are not supposed to take this information while we are sleeping. So what we are saying here is businesses did not make money yet, our revenues as a big companies. All of them, they still run at loss or at cost. So which means that we don't know where is the most profitable business of AI. and how to make money out of it. In the same time, the big dialogue about the data. As you know, we are now the one embedded in the world. In the past, we have embedding technology, embedding sensor in our life. Now, it seems that we are, as a human, the one who is embedded in the digital world. So, collecting our information, collecting our data, and what you do with the data. So we saw in Egypt the digital citizenship, where they combine, I believe right now, about 74 different database from different ministries together. And this will give us more vision of our people, and will demonstrate support programs or what do we need. However, is this the best approach for using the data? So having this forum, it will enable the government, and the government is very, it's a high profile engagement there, because our Prime Minister has a talk today around, I believe, midday, around 12:30 or 1 o'clock around this time. He has a talk, which means that you bring the Prime Minister of the country is tending to talk to industry leaders, to researchers, to educators, to users. So this is a high...
to deliver a message, and even holding such a conference is a real message for such community.
Holding this conference in Egypt means we are the hub of communication.
Exactly.
We had before the air, we had some discussions about where we stand as in Egypt.
We're trying to position ourselves as a hub for technology.
We are positioned, because this is not,
really positioned.
This is not the first conference.
This is not.
This is about maybe 4 or 5 in the last 6 months. And we just came from the Rise Up, and the Rise Up has a huge announcement. So if we want to look at the dynamics, Rise Up has a huge announcement for the entrepreneurship and the new startup companies. That's right. Now, majority of these businesses, as true, will be in the fintech, financial technology, which is AI enabled or driven. It will be in technology enabled and driven, because this is the fashion of the technologies right now, or this is the gap where these businesses can go and build more institutions, more companies. So when we pave the way for businesses to be structured to take advantage of government support and programs, we now try to bring the core, what the business will be about. That's why when we talk about...
Let's continue in here, Professor Wael, and even where we're paving the way for the core for huge industries or advanced technologies and industry, of course, and all agricultural fields, researches, etc. And here also your question, what we are doing with technology, what we are doing with the artificial intelligence applications. This is the main issue. How it's supposed to enhance the technology, the industry and the life of the citizens as well, and the services the citizens are supposed to get from the public sector.
The only benefit, this is the only benefit of applying technology, is to build a better lifestyle or a better standard for a human being. You cannot visualize any technology does not make us have a better life. Easy travel, easy booking.
The difference.
It's not difference. We have to enjoy a better life standard. It's not about just technology. So when you bring government describing the issues. Now, in the government initiatives in Egypt, if we want to talk about Egypt only, we have the health insurance. Huge. You expect to have 80 million plus. You had the Rise Up. The mandate in the protocol in the Rise Up was to bring $1 billion foreign investors, and that's why they have the announcement. We have the different services we have, like food, beverage, we have banking, we have agriculture, we have the massive development in agriculture, we have so all of that together, it needs startup companies, small businesses to start to, because they are more agile, they start to deploy solutions. We need to get the investment from foreign resources. When you get investment from foreign resources, once you have a success story here, they will take it to their home countries. So this implies that in few years we will be exporting these solutions. We will be exporting this technology. In the same time, we have groups of Egyptians, serious Egyptians, they talk about the deep tech, which basically is the technology underneath the AI applications. So we have huge initiatives in Egypt right now to talk about deep tech or deep technology, which is how we develop the core, not only the application or the data. So among all of this, waves and all of this movement, the AI, everything is positioned to benefit the economy, benefit the population, benefit the society. In the same time, it's actual magnet to attract all of us there. The only negative things about it is not made in the gym. It's actually in the conference centers in Mushir. Is not in the grand. So this was
it's not in the jam actually, but in the conference hall of the Mushir.
Yes. So this is the only thing which is our surprise, because I would expect such an elite event
to be on the jam,
to be on the
Egyptian Museum. Yeah.
But I am lucky because I live in this side of Cairo, so I will be able to go to the Isha. So this is the only thing which is we can say. However, the announcement, even if you look at how they do the marketing, so when you sign up, even at free cost, they send you an AI avatar, so you can publish it on your social media, so they can keep rolling the information among youth. It's amazing how this nation, or how this government is trying to reach out with the new campaigns. So this year, one of the interesting observation is once you register 5 days ago, they send that you can build your own AI avatar and have an invitation and post it to your LinkedIn and your Facebook. So suddenly I found lots of my followers and people and my groups, my students, all of them, they start to have the avatar. So now others who did not or were not aware for any reason about it, they will go and subscribe. So you can see also how the government is delivering the messages in a different way. So this is not the classical government. This is, you can call it, is a digitized Madbouli government.
Yep. Well, the worldwide is now concerned about the new challenges of the AI, specifically when we talk about the ethics of the artificial intelligence and the emotional side as well, or the the emotional considerations. But they are on the stage that they solve this. How is Egypt supposed to prepare its workforce to manage with such challenges and opportunities of the AI point of view?
The issue with AI ethics is huge, and we tackled it 3 years ago in the Research Council for Communication and Information Technology with the Science and Academy here in Egypt. We developed one of the very first strategies. Then the council, the Supreme Council of Universities, issued another strategy, then another guide. For the engineering syndicate, I developed a strategy and a guide for the engineering professions. So the question is how we can manage it. The only way is educate people and enforce these strategies. We are right now facing what we call it agenic AI. Agenic AI means you have an agent. An agent is like your representative. He will go, you give it a proxy. The agent will go out to the internet, and then they try to do multiple operations without your involvement.
Yeah, this is the agenic.
The agenic.
The agenic.
Agenic.
But how about the super AI?
So let's just close the agenic. So this agenic has lots of concerns because human is not in control. That's why the European nation, the European Union issued what we call it man in the middle. They have to involve users. However, this
human being.
However, this user, and it was actually was entertaining the African community when we were in the Africa Kai event. However, this is not in place before next year, so it's not right now in action. It's been written. So the question is how we can do without harming. Now, when we talk about the super AI, it's, in my personal opinion, this will not be in place because it's maybe have been issued in this way to try to attract investment by companies and try to shape a different type of market, like blue ocean market, so not too many players will be.
You don't think that it will not be there, especially in the competition and the huge competition between the US and China in such field? I believe they are working on.
It will not be there because the ROI is not there. If the ROI is, the return on investment right now is not for the current technologies. And the current technologies is developed by companies. Yes, I agree. It's quasi company. It may have government for back end. It may have government partnership, government involvement. Doesn't matter. However, it does not issue revenues. So the revenues are not sufficient enough to justify for investors. The super AI It's a concept have been developed by IBM early on, and they thought they will be heading toward. We have to cautious or to explain to the viewers that NASA promised to go everywhere, and they did not go more than Mars. However, in the journey of NASA, they developed so many side products which benefit the human being. So when we promise super AI, we will do so many researches to reach it. However, it's very difficult to have it because we don't have the computational power. So once we have quantum computing, it's the new era of quantum computing, will enable faster computing, low power computation, so we can accelerate our current AI. However, the model exists. Does it run in reality? No. Does it will become as an application in the coming 5 to 10 years? Immediate answer is no, because quantum computing will not be stable before maybe 10, 20 years. As also I'm part of the strategy, one strategy to build this quantum computing strategy for our nation. So it's good to have promise. It's good actually to build a public opinion and to educate the public with this kind of buzzwords. But does it really will come and work? I personally, technically, highly doubt it.
Yep. Actually, it's endless talk. When we talk about artificial intelligence and such huge technologies, challenges nowadays, it's really endless. And of course, with you, Professor Wael Badawy, a professor of artificial intelligence, great pleasure having you with us. Thank you for your insights and for your views.
Thank you, and same
Have
here.
a nice day.
You too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, short break, and we'll be right back.